Today we're going to talk about how we can classify triangles by angles and sides. So we're going to be classifying them by two ways, angles and sides. So let's first start with angles. So acute triangles are triangles that have all angles that are acute. So remember, acute angles are angles that are less than 90 degrees. So that means every single one of these angles would have to be less than 90. Next, we have right triangles. So a right triangle has one right angle. So typically, these are triangles that will have the little box in one of the corners to represent it being a right triangle. An obtuse triangle has one obtuse angle. So those typically look like this, where you'll have one obtuse. An obtuse angle is more than 90 degrees. An equiangular triangle has all equal angles inside. So if we look at this triangle, if the angles inside a triangle add to 180 and these are all the same, that means each of these angles is going to be 60 degrees. Now let's classify triangles by their sides. So the first one is a scalene triangle. Scalene triangles have no congruent sides. So when we're labeling triangles, we use the little dash marks to represent the different sides. So this side right here would be the short side. We can use two little marks to represent the medium side, and then three marks to represent the long side. So because there's 1, 2, and 3, you know that these are three different lengths and that none of them are congruent. Next, we have isosceles triangles. Isosceles triangles have two congruent sides. Here are some examples of some isosceles triangles. The two congruent sides will be marked with little dash marks, and one mark represents that this side is congruent to this side. So if they both have one little mark, then that means the sides are congruent. Isosceles triangles also have congruent base angles. So this is a little bit taller triangle. This one is a little bit wider. So that means that this side would be congruent to this side, and then these base angles would be congruent. Equilateral triangles have three congruent sides. So all three of these sides would be congruent, and even though the triangle may not look drawn to scale, if they have these little dash marks, that means all three sides are congruent, and then all three angles are also congruent. Now let's classify each of these triangles by their angles and sides. So equal sides and equal angles are indicated in each diagram. So each of these are going to have two names, a name for its angles and a name for its sides. So for example, this one would be an acute isosceles. I know it's acute because this angle is less than 90, and then so are these ones. And then I know it's an isosceles triangle because these two sides are congruent, and isosceles triangles have two congruent sides. Let's look at letter B. We have three sides. Each are different lengths. And now we have to figure out what the angle is. So these angles look smaller, and this one looks like it could be greater than 90. So this one would be an obtuse scalene. We know it's scalene because all three of these sides have different lengths. Let's take a look at letter C. We have this little box right here, and we have these marks that represent all three of these sides having different lengths. What kind of triangle is this? This one is a right scalene. This little box represents a 90-degree angle, so it's a right triangle. And because these have different little tick marks, that means it's a scalene triangle because all of these lengths are different. Let's look at letter D. All three of these angles appear to be less than 90 degrees, and we have a short, medium, and long side, so all the sides are different. So this one would appear to be an acute scalene triangle. If you look at letter E, we have a triangle that has all three congruent sides. And if their sides are congruent, then their angles are congruent. So this one would be equiangular equilateral. Let's look at letter F. We have a fairly large angle here. We know the base angles are congruent, and we have two congruent sides. What kind of triangle is this? This is an obtuse isosceles because this angle here is greater than 90, and the isosceles triangles have two congruent sides. Let's take a look at letter G. You have two congruent sides, two base angles that are congruent, and this 90-degree angle. What kind of triangle is this? This would be a right isosceles because of the right angle and the two congruent sides. Let's look at letter H. We have a small, or actually a long side, a medium side, and a short side. So all three sides are different lengths, and then there appears to be an angle that is greater than 90. So this one would be an obtuse scalene. If you look at letter I looks very similar to letter E. So it would also be equiangular equilateral. Now we're going to classify triangles on a coordinate plane. So we're going to classify triangle HAT by its sides, then determine whether it's scalene, isosceles, or equilateral triangle. We must prove our answers mathematically using Pythagorean theorem and the slope formula. So let's first begin by plotting these points to figure out what our triangle looks like. Now I'm going to hypothesize what kind of triangle this one is. So I think it looks like a right scalene. You put whatever you think. I think this right here looks like a 90-degree angle, and all three of these sides look different. So the first step that we have to do is find the slopes of all three of the sides. So I'm actually not going to use this slope formula. I'm just going to do the rise over the run. I think it'll be a little bit faster. So I'm going to begin by finding the slope of segment HA. So for segment HA, if I do my slope triangle, remember we want to go up and down and always to the right if we can. So I would be going down 2 and right 1. So if I went down 2 and right 1, the slope of segment HA would be -2. Now I'm going to find the slope of segment HT. So if I start at H, I would go up 1 and then over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So because I went up and right, segment HT will have a slope of 1/7. I'm going to find segment AT. If I start at A and go up 3 and over 6, what will the slope of AT be? So you went up and over 3 to 6, and that will simplify to 1/2. So segment AT has a slope of +1/2. So sometimes it might be difficult to classify the triangle by its angles because it's hard to determine sometimes if this is 90 or obtuse. But if we look at our slopes here, we have two slopes that are opposite and reciprocal, which means they're perpendicular. And if they are perpendicular, that means that these segments meet at 90-degree angles, making it a right triangle. So now all we have to do is figure out the lengths of the sides by using Pythagorean theorem. So remember, the Pythagorean theorem is given by a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So I'm actually going to use this, and all this is solving the Pythagorean theorem for c. So don't write this part down because I'm just going to erase it. But if I have a squared plus b squared equals c squared, and I'm going to take the square root of each side, this will leave me with the square root of a squared plus b squared equals C, and the C is the length of the side that I'm trying to find. So even though it doesn't really look obvious that I'm using Pythagorean theorem, I'm just taking the square root of each side first before plugging in any of the numbers. So I'm going to go ahead and erase this and start plugging in our numbers. So first, let's find the length of segment HA. So if we looked at segment HA, we kind of already did this already with our rise over our run. So for HA, I know that I went down 2 and right 1. Well, down 2 and right 1, these are the numbers that I'm going to be plugging in to the Pythagorean theorem anyways. So that's why I kind of like to do the slope triangles instead of the slope formula. So this means that I'm going to have the square root of 1 squared plus 2 squared, which is 1 plus 4. And then the square root of 5 is approximately 2.24. Now let's do segment HT. So if we look at HT, I went up 1 and right 7. So I already know the lengths of the triangles for my sides to plug in to the Pythagorean theorem. So I would have the square root of 1 squared plus 7 squared. That's going to be 1 plus 49, and then we have the square root of 50. So the square root of 50 is approximately 7.07. Last, we're going to find the length of segment AT. So when we're doing this one, from A to T, I went up 3 and right 6. So we're going to use the 3 and the 6 to plug in to my Pythagorean theorem, not this one. This one, remember, is just what we use to simplify the slope, but the 3 and the 6 represent the legs of my triangle. So I'm going to plug those in and do 3 squared plus 6 squared. So that would be 9 plus 36. And then 9 plus 36 is 45. So the square root of 45 is approximately 6.71. So now if I look at all of the lengths of each side of my triangle, notice that each length is different. So that means that this is a scaling triangle because all of these are different. So for our conclusion, you want to make sure you write a very thorough response. So we say this is a right scalene because 2 of the sides had slopes that were opposite reciprocals, creating a 90-degree angle, and scalene because all 3 sides had different lengths. Now let's try another one. So we're going to classify triangle LAP by its sides and look to see if we can find any slopes that are opposite reciprocal to see if it's a right triangle. Take a moment and go ahead and plot triangle LAP on your graph. Now that you have the triangle on your graph, go ahead and make a hypothesis about what kind of triangle you think this is. I always like to start out by trying to find the slopes. So first, I'm going to try and find the slope of segment PA. So segment PA is a horizontal line. Horizontal lines have a slope of 0, so that one was pretty easy. Let's do segment PL. What is the slope of PL? It looks like we have to go down 3 and right 3. So down 3 and right 3 would be a slope of -1. Now let's look at segment LA. If I start at L, I would go up 3 and right 3 to get to A. So 3 over 3 is equal to 1. Notice here that it looks like we have opposite reciprocals. So when you have opposite reciprocals, that means that PL and LA have a 90-degree angle, meaning that this is a right triangle. So now all we have to do is figure out the length of the sides to determine whether it's scalene, isosceles, or equilateral. We can find the length of PA by just counting the boxes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that one's pretty easy. We don't need to use Pythagorean theorem for that. If we're trying to find the length of PL, remember we already know the lengths of the sides. It was 3 by 3. So to get the length of PL, we're going to do 3 squared plus 3 squared, which would be 9 plus 9, which would be the square root of 18. And the square root of 18 is approximately 4.24. So let's put that in our chart, 4.24. And then notice that segment LA was also a 3 by 3. So I don't need to do all this again. I know that one side was 3 and the other side was 3. So the length of LA is going to be the same, 4.24. So based on this information of opposite reciprocals and this information of two sides being congruent, what kind of triangle is this? Triangle PAL is a right isosceles because two of the slopes were opposite reciprocals and two of the sides were congruent.